Hi again, Doug here from X-Frames FPV. Well, today we've got a frame build and a little bit of a review. This is on the TinslyRC F50. Now, I have not ever built, or before this even seen in person, other than, you know, other people maybe flying these, this product, the TinslyRC F50. They sent me an F50 and I think an F30. I'm not sure what the other one is actually, but we're going to build this one and kind of do a review as we build it. I got it all laid out here on the table so you can kind of see where everything goes. It's pretty straightforward. You only have the right amount of screws for the right places. In other words, there's two of these smaller M3s. Those go in the top aluminum plate, and then the rest of these mount this bottom plate, which is an aluminum bottom plate, and it all kind of goes together. Carbon fiber, it's good, looks like good carbon fiber. Let's take a look at it here. And the weave is nice and tight. It looks like, is that 5? It's first thing in the morning here, so I get things wrong a lot in the morning. I get things wrong a lot in general, but in the morning especially. No, it's just a little 4+ millimeters on the arms. Like I said, not chamfered, decent quality carbon fiber, tight weave. Layers are pretty decent. See if you can see that. I do like they included this neoprene or maybe silicone pad for the bottom for the battery. That is a really good plus. PDB comes with it. Got your 5 volts on there, I believe. Let's see what we have here. 5 and 12 volts. So not a lot of people use PDBs, but if you do, you got that one to rock on your build. So let's just go ahead and get right to the build here. It's pretty straightforward. Like I said, you're going to need a 2mm and you're going to need a 2.5. So let me grab my 2.5 and let's get to it. All right, so we're going to start with 2 arms here. My table here, my mat is, for some reason, it's kind of lifted up and it drives me absolutely crazy. Now, let me try to move my microphone in so I can get a little bit closer because, man, I need to get a smaller mic, I think, when I'm doing these builds. I love the sound of this mic, and that's the problem. That the sound of the mic kind of overtakes my ability to build something on camera because I've got this huge diaphragmed mic right in front of me. But I really like the way it sounds. I used to do audio, so you know, when I was looking for a mic, I'm like, okay, I want something that sounds the way I would want it to sound. So one of the things you probably should do first, get your battery, and let's just go ahead and get it in there, your battery strap, so that when it probably will slide through without a problem, but it just makes it easier. Actually, let's wait on that. So the way it mounts, real simple, is you've got the top plate here with the 4 screws, and that goes here, or middle plate, and then you have your bottom plate which goes on the other side. So you're going to run your M3. Inner holes is for the longer screws, that is for your center stack, okay? There. And there. Boy, I'm not the, you know, we've talked about this before, I'm not the most coordinated person in the world, but man, when I'm doing this with things in front of my face and everything else, I become very uncoordinated. And you guys are like, yeah, no duh. How does this guy get through a day? Lots of coffee. Lots of coffee. So you guys out there drink coffee? I have a thing called spinal stenosis, which is, it affects a lot of things, and one of the things that it kind of makes you feel a little foggy sometimes. And I have found, and I confirmed it with my doctor, that coffee helps it, because spinal stenosis is basically arthritis of the spine. And so the coffee kind of constricts that arthritis and makes it to where I feel normal. So I have an excuse to drink coffee. I would drink coffee every once in a while. I liked the taste of it. But it wasn't something that, okay, let me get this all lined up. It wasn't something that I drank very often, not on a regular basis. So now that I drink coffee, I have found that I absolutely love cold brew. If you guys never had a cold brew, man, just take a French press. There's recipes for it, how many ounces you put, but you just basically put the coarse grind in a French press and leave it for 16 to 24 hours. And you either filter it out or just use the press and press it out. And you leave it at room temperature. And then the next day you have this amazing coffee that has no bitterness whatsoever. It is extremely... Am I doing that on camera while I'm talking to you about coffee? You guys are like, what the H? This guy's talking about coffee. I don't care about coffee. Well, I do. It's nice to have something to talk about while I'm building. So, pretty simple. One of the things you see here, you see how it's misaligned? See if you can see that on camera. It's really easy to do that with these, so you got to kind of loosen them up. I pre-built this. I pre-built every frame before I put it on camera just to make sure that there's no issues. And later on in the video, you will see why that was a good idea. And you just kind of line them up. And we're all copacetic. Anyways, what happens is because you don't add any heat, for some reason the acid in the bean just doesn't get transferred. And so you have basically no acid. And it is the smoothest tasting coffee. I have it with a little bit of almond milk and a little bit of maple sugar because I'm not doing refined sugar anymore. And it is heavenly. So, just a little note. How did we get on the subject of coffee? Oh, because it's the morning. I don't have coffee until about 1 o'clock because that's about when the stenosis starts kicking in, okay? So you see there? Got a little lesson in coffee and a little lesson in how to build. So there we go so far. Real simple, right? Then from here, you're going to take, let's just go ahead for giggles. This is for your stack. They do have different size spacers for the stack, which is nice. Good hardware here. It's always nice to see premium quality hardware. You guys might be asking, why are you doing a build? This couldn't be easier. Well, this is what I'd call an entry-level / intermediate frame, right? Not that if you're a pro you wouldn't fly this because it looks like it's built, the components look good, and but you never know who's going to be building this, and some people for the first time they just need a little bit of help. So since Tinsly, or I probably am pronouncing it wrong, Tinsly, since they sent this frame to me for free, I figure I might as well take a little time and show their customers how to build it. I think it's boring if I just do a review. Now I will be doing a build on this too. We're going to build this up at some point. Really. All right, we're back with the lost spacer. I will build this up at some point. I have some Hyperlite V2 2205s. I know 2205 is kind of a small motor, but I love the Hyperlite V2s with 2600 kV that we're going to rock on here. And they're purple. They'll look absolutely wonderful. Let's go ahead and install this LiPo pad. These LiPo pads aren't cheap. I don't know how much it is to have a custom-made one. Obviously, they're ordering more than I do. But man, when I buy these, I pay almost $1 a piece for them. So if anybody knows, the wrong way. Is that a wrong way? No. If anybody knows a good place to get these kind of battery pads, just the straight ones that aren't, I get them on GearBest or Banggood, I think. But I had a hard time finding them wholesale, so that's a nice way to mount your battery. You know, it does stick down quite a bit with that pad on there, but it's not as big of a deal. So then there's only one thing left to do, and that is installing the top canopy. Nice aluminum, machined aluminum. So front to back is identical on this, just nice. Why is it nice? I don't know, because it makes it easier. And we're going to screw this in. Screw the front in. And we'll get a weight on this once it's all said and done. It's a looker when it's all built. You know, if you put, you know, there's some pretty cool motors. This would be beautiful with a set of the Cobra, the gold Cobras on there. Just kind of keep that gold theme. And then here in about 2 seconds, you're going to find why it's good for me to build stuff first. And we can choose, let's see if it'll just slide on there easy, just to, without me having to loosen anything up. No, I'm not going to do it. I was going to just do it for show, but I'm going to run a 4-in-1 on this. Like, I run 4-in-1s on 90% of my stuff. The only stuff I don't run 4-in-1s is if I'm running a something that I'm going to run 6S consistently. Okay, here we go. So here's where we found the problem. When I was screwing this in last time on the table, it does not grab at all. You can see it's just free spinning in there. And let me show you why. I contacted Tinsly. They're going to send me a new one out. I contacted them, just so you know, through the normal channels, not through the person who sent me this. And I do that because I want to know what their customer service is like for you guys. And they were great. So they're going to send me out a new side plate. But if you can see here, you can't because it's not in the camera. That's the front and that's the back. You can, I don't know if you can see, but there's absolutely no threads in the front. So it's just a machining issue. Everybody, I don't care what manufacturer, there's not been a, if I build, you know, you'd say, you know, Impulse RC, their frames are, you know, some of the best built frames, and I've had issues with them. Not a lot of issues, but I have had issues, and my point is, it doesn't matter who the manufacturer is. You're gonna have problems from time to time. And now we take these M3x4s, slide them through here, and that tightens. Am I on the right side? Yeah. Or am I? Yeah. Okay. And another M3x4. There you have it. That is the Tinsly F50. Let me double check that. Yeah. So it looks like they have it. So the other one that I have probably is an F40, because it looks like they have an F40, F50, and F60. I'm assuming they're 4, 5, and 6 inch. And you do have a choice of gold and blue hardware. The F40 that I have that they sent to me is the blue. So we'll be able to see a difference. Okay, let me look here. Let's take a look at this. Put it on the rotating table. You can see everything. It's a beautiful frame. It really is. I like the way these arms swoop up. Let's get a measurement here. We already measured the arm, so we don't need to do that again. Get that where you can see it. There we go. Hello. 157. Okay, so it's definitely a freestyle frame. It's heavy. You know, a lot of times they weigh, just so you know, a lot of times they'll weigh these batteries, these without the little rubber pad and without the strap, just to kind of get a little bit. 156. So it's not surprising that it's a little bit on the chunky side, because you have so much protection up here with the aluminum canopy. And so, like I said, this is going to make a really good freestyle frame. You can run your wires underneath here if you wanted to. Obviously out the side, not out the front, because that point would get them. But it's a lot of protection in a crash. I really like that. And I like the really good quality battery strap. I love that they included top of the line as far as quality battery pad. And I love it. I think it's going to be a fun frame. I like having a lot of protection. Once we get everything built, I'm excited to see how everything really does go in there. Obviously, it looks like it's going to take a full-size camera. So if you're running the Mini, you'll have to use the mount that comes with it that allows you to run the Mini on a full-size camera mount. But you're going to have plenty, as you can see here, plenty of throw. So all in all, I think, you know, we had a little issue with the aluminum not being machined properly. They're sending me a new one out, no problem. But I like this frame, super, I mean, crazy stiff. Oh, I don't have that. Let me tighten that up, and then I'll say again. It's got to be tight. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's a super stiff frame. So this, like I said, this would make a good freestyle for somebody. So guys, I hope you got something out of this. I hope, you know, for somebody who's building this for the first time, they can kind of see an easy way to build it. What are my thoughts on this frame? I think if you're running if you're going to be doing freestyle and the weight is not an issue, I think this is a frame to have on your wall for sure, because just the beauty. I had really good customers in from Singapore on last week. We went out to Vegas to CES and did some flying, and I've built multiple builds for them. And this was the one I have. I don't know if you guys have seen my wall, but I probably have 25, 30 drones on it. And when they walked in, they were both drawn to this because it is just really a beautiful frame. So, and I think it should be strong for you guys. So check out Tinsly. I'll have a link in the description for how you can buy this and all the information on it. Check out my website, xframesfpv.com. You can see builds. Go to the custom build section. That's the only section on there right now that has my picks, because I've said it every video, but I just can't, I can't just leave it out there that the other stuff is not mine. And you'll be able to tell because some of it's pretty old. But if you go to the custom builds, that shows some of my builds. I do custom builds. I do this for full time. If you have parts you want me to build, I can spec it out whichever way you want it. And I do some repairs. I don't do all repairs, because sometimes it just gets into too much money for the customer. And so, but again, xframesfpv.com. Appreciate you guys. Hope you get some time to fly.